Ryan Reeves. We have a guy in the CFL, Jordan Reeves. His brother was kind of the forefront of that, where he was kind of leading the charge, and the alliance that they created in the NHL was calling for games to be canceled. Though they eventually were canceled, and guys were media members were asking guys, like, I don't know if you saw this, that hey, could we forget about the social justice stuff for a second and just focus on hockey and tell me what happened in that third period or whatever, or the momentum will then carry on. And to the credit of the guys, they're like, no, we have to keep this, in focus. So tell me, at first, were you surprised that the NHL didn't cancel games, and what was your thought of their correction?
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't surprised. I wasn't surprised because of the proximity to the problem. Like, in a lot of ways, like, it's not even so much about, white or black, or, I mean, it is, but like, it's also like the proximity to the issue. Like, how many people in your life are affected by this? Right. You know what I mean? And that's it. Whereas, like, again, in an NBA locker room, it's like, let's use the Raptors, for example. Like, who's our Canadian on there? Malcolm Miller. Let's use him.
O'Shea's Canadian.
Yeah, O'Shea's Canadian.
Got like 2 Africans.
Yeah. So it's like, again, so maybe that's not an American issue, but like Kyle Lowry was born and raised in South Philly. Right. His 2 little boys are moving in, and all these guys are gonna have lives now intertwined with these American politics and all these things going on. Right. Whereas in the NHL, it's like, no matter where they play, they all just go off to Florida in the summer and live in their home and like avoid all of this. So that part doesn't surprise me. The part that did surprise me though was just like, how do you not just put 2 and 2 together and realize how bad this backlash is gonna be? Like, whether you give a damn about Black Lives Matter, about all this stuff, it's like, how do you not realize that everybody in the world is gonna point the finger at you and like howl in laughter because you're just so out of touch?
I think that's part of the problem, man, because they're in the bubble, they're on their phones. Obviously, you're seeing games get canceled, right? Okay, and it's big news in the sports world. Everybody's talking about it. Games are getting canceled. Then you see the NBA games are being canceled. But there's somebody right there. I find it hard to believe that nobody thought to say, hey, should we maybe talk about this? Like, let's get together and see if we should be playing. Nobody else is playing, and we know this. Like, should we kind of talk about this and make sure, what's going on isn't, we don't get major. I mean, you shouldn't do stuff because you're going to get backlash, but at least talk about it, right? No, don't just go out there and play, and then now you look at the bad guy. Then no matter what you do after that, it's going to be looked at as, oh, you're just doing it because you got the backlash, or you're just doing this, because there's, it's conditioned. So it was a problem from the outset, I think, with the NHL.
And I feel for the DHA guys, like Diversity Hockey Alliance,
right?
Vander Kane, all those guys. It's like,
dude, they're fighting.
And like, I'm like, being from London, Ontario, I know what it felt like with my high school football team. And, I was probably one of 3, 4 black guys. Like, like, I know what it's like to be in that room where it's just like, it's not even that everybody around you hates you or doesn't care, but it's just like, it's just not an issue that they know how to process or like even understand. And so you're just like, you feel like you're yelling at the clouds.
Right.
So I feel for those guys, because I'm sure they were banging the table like,
right.
But,
hello.
Yeah, exactly.